What did happen at Mr. Evans's house?
I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, but I do.
Roger, you're going to have to stop putting your hand on people, my man. Like, you too skinny to be that bold. I am Joel Sharpton, one half of the Articulate Coven, and this is my watch of Dark Shadows, the original supernatural soap opera. We are up to episode 62 right now, and my money says this is going to be a good one. 62 would mean that it's not a Friday episode, but that is not always the conclusion of a big arc. It feels like Burke Devlin and Sam Evans are going to get some things off of each other's chest and maybe on to the other one, I suppose, tonight. We'll see what else is happening in Collinsport right now in episode 62. I will remind you, if you're watching these on YouTube, right now you can get episode 63, 64, and 65 on our Patreon, articulatecoven.com/join. $2 or more a month gets you access to everything we do early and ad-free. Thanks so much for everybody who's watching these with me.
Fear that has spread its icy fingers far into the night, reaching out to other hearts.
All right, so we got Roger on one side of town, all by his lonesome, staring out of the drawing room window, and then we got Sam and Burke upstairs in the hotel.
I'm here. That's the important thing, is it, that I'm here?
It all depends on what you have to say.
I really don't know what Sam's play is here. I mean, I guess he didn't want to do this in front of Maggie. It just comes down to that. But also, like, you're not going to snow Burke. You're not going to just, like, talk him out of being interested in this. I don't think Sam came up here to kill him.
Victoria Winters came over to our house for dinner tonight, and you did your best to destroy it.
I didn't run out of them, Sam. I didn't do that.
Okay, homie, but you did destroy that dinner. But, like, literally, you got done talking and left. And then Maggie said, well, I guess that's the end of our dinner party. And still, I just want to point out, no one had eaten yet. Your boy's worried about everybody getting fed.
Why did you do it, Sam? I had to. I'll bet you did. Burke, I'm not trying to hide anything from you. Nothing.
It just occurred to me, and I apologize, I have not had the captions on, at least for the last couple of episodes, and that is my fault. I like to put my captions up for you all, so.
Never did it before. You get the feeling that everything is it's closing in on you, and you can't breathe.
I've had the feeling, Sam, for 5 years in prison.
So I ran.
It's a good burn, Sam.
Burke, I just want to get this thing over. I want to get it all settled.
Are you serious about this?
Why would I be here?
I'll get you a drink.
All right, so that's 4 of our 5. We got Sam and Burke over on that side of town, Roger and Miss Winters on this side.
I'd rather not discuss it.
Oh, you can't go now. It's unfair to arouse a person's curiosity and then simply walk away.
It's a very trying evening.
In what way? What did happen at Mr. Evans's house?
I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, but I do.
Roger, you're going to have to stop putting your hand on people, my man. Like, you too skinny to be that bold.
Why don't you sit down, Miss Winters? Been quite a while since we had a friendly chat, and I think it's long overdue, don't you?
I don't think y'all have ever had a friendly chat, Roger. I think you have had several very crappy chats, not very many friendly ones.
He said that you...
Did he mention any facts that came out in court?
Yes, that
Well,
was...
what were they?
Boy, I guess Winters went up on her lines there. That was a very awkward exchange.
Testify against him in the trial.
Well, by that time I had to. It came out that I was in his car. It was an unhappy affair for everybody.
But, like, obviously more unhappy for Burke. I mean, to be fair, most unhappy for the man that got run over, no matter who was behind the wheel.
Yes. And he had a completely different story to tell about the accident.
You bet I do.
Yeah! That's the first one of our great transitions in quite a while. I don't know, a handful of episodes at least. I love it, love it, love it. when we go from, conversation to conversation, and either literally someone's name gets repeated or a line. In this case, she said he had a totally different story, and Burke says, "You bet I do. Yeah, hell yeah, I love it."
Driving that car at the time of the accident. Colin knows it because he took the wheel when he thought I was too drunk to drive. And for some reason, I don't yet understand, you know it too, Sam.
I can't stop you from thinking that.
So, but I mean, okay, if we take Burke at his word here, assuming that he hadn't stopped him and taken the wheel, then, I mean, I suppose maybe it's like a matter of timing, and if they had done that, Burke wouldn't have hit the person because the person wouldn't have been there yet. I don't know. My point is, if Burke was so drunk that Roger thought he was too drunk to drive, why did Roger hit this person? Was he also too drunk to drive? And if so, have you ever been too drunk to drive and yet been very particular about who was driving? To be fair, now that I'm just thinking about it, I guess you always think that you are less drunk than you are, and you're much more capable of driving than you actually are. So maybe it is just a matter of like Roger thought he would be better even though he clearly wasn't.
Stuff and things that happened 10 years ago. It can't help you now.
I mean, it could have.
When you ran out on me tonight, I told him exactly why I thought you were running.
You had no right to say such things. You had no right to spread your filthy stories. Stories or facts. Maggie didn't have to know.
Filthy stories about a man from Nantucket. Okay, Sam, that wasn't a filthy story. That was perhaps a lie. I don't think it was a lie, though. I think if it was a lie, you'd be less, I don't know, you'd be less stringent about the way that you're going about this all. Why did you suddenly become a drunk 10 years ago, Sam? Like,
Did you kill Bill Malloy?
that's a weird look for an innocent man there, Sam. Man, David Ford is a way better Sam, y'all. I apologize for ever arguing for the original. The original guy was good. This guy's way better.
That's why I decided to come up here and make that perfectly clear.
Like you didn't know anything about my manslaughter charge.
That has nothing to do with
It has everything to do with it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Sam, the reason, if Bill was murdered, the reason he was murdered was because of what happened in the whole manslaughter case. Man, it is so weird that the first 100 episodes of the show is basically about, a true crime story, not a true crime story, a simple crime story from 10 years ago.
You made that call, didn't you?
No, I didn't.
Yes, you called him. You called Malloy. You asked him not to go through with it. And when he said no, you did the only other thing you could do, kill him.
I mean, that's quite an accusation you have there, counselor. He's leading the witness all over the place, too. Speculative. There'd be quite a lot of objections, I think. I'm not a lawyer. I just play one on this podcast.
Did not call him. I did not kill him.
Malloy's wristwatch was broken at 10:45. And he was at Lookout Point at that time. And that's when you hit him in the back of the head and threw him in the water.
Again, you don't know that he was at Lookout Point. Lookout Point is one of the 3 places where he could have been when he fell into the water or was pushed into the water.
That's all I've got to say, Burke. I didn't kill Malloy.
And you think it was me?
Yes, I think it was you that killed Malloy. I sure do. I don't know what happened 10 years ago still. I think you killed that guy too. But I am fairly certain you killed Malloy. Also, shout out to Holly Van Wy, I think it was the username. But Holly is watching on YouTube. Hi, Holly. Appreciate you. But she made a great comment a couple of episodes ago and just pointed out, yes, R.I.P. Bill Malloy, but also this is Dark Shadows. So who knows? Perhaps we shall see him yet again, that actor at least. I do know one of the things that this show does is have actors play multiple roles when we do our time skipping flashbacks, whatever those are, once they come up.
He said the meeting was called to clear his name.
And accuse me.
Yes.
That, of course, is a lie. I know it, Sam Evans knows it, and Burke knows it.
Well, then why would he say such a thing?
Because he's a vicious man.
I mean, I guess of the two of them, Burke is the better interrogator, but neither one, Burke or Roger, are very good, would be very good as a lawyer.
If you remember, you came in here and shut the door, and I went upstairs.
That's precisely what I mean. You have no right to report an argument that you didn't know anything about. It's only gossip for Burke to chew on.
You literally called her in here to gossip about what just happened at the dinner party that she was at. You didn't get invited to Sam's house. Mind your business. Mind your business.
When I came downstairs at 10:30, Mr. Malloy was gone and you were talking on the telephone.
10:30? You knew I was on the telephone at 10:30?
Boy, you want to get real guilty real quick there, huh?
Well, let's see. I was in the upstairs hallway, and I heard the front door slam. It must have been about 10:35. Not much later. Why?
Well, I simply feel, Miss Winters, that if you're going to report my movements to Burke Devlin, that you should at least be accurate.
Yeah, she didn't report anything to Burke Devlin. She was just telling it to you, Mr. Gossipy Man. But also, like, hey, look at you, Raj. You clearly killed Bill Malloy. I hope you get in. I hope the worst.
It's not important, of course. It's just that I have rather a personal fetish for accurateness.
Well, it makes no difference to me one way or the other. But now, if you don't mind, I think I'll go up to bed.
Of course.
Can we just say how creepy a way to put that? I have a personal fetish for correctness. How about I just like to tell the truth? Very fond of the truth. Not a fan of exaggeration. I have a personal fetish for correctness. Ooh, Roger Collins.
There'd be no Widow's Hill, no ghosts, no dark corners, no pressure, Miss Winters. It would be free of us and away from probings and questions and all the rest of it.
Well, it sounds very lovely. But I'm afraid I have to say no.
Well, if it's money you need, darling.
No, thank you. I prefer to stay.
Miss Winters, you're a fool.
That'll be the end of our episode. God, Roger's so slimy. Roger is just the slimiest. He looks dashing in a suit, though. I will give it to him. That's not the end.
About Bill Malloy.
So, Burke, let it rest.
If Bill Malloy was murdered and you didn't do it, there's only one other person who could have done it.
We know Roger did it. Like, he made it obvious in this episode. Really good episode, though, for Louis Edmonds. Great performance from him today. Good. That was a nice episode. It was a spicy one. It was not the great resolution to this arc that I was looking forward to, but still good. If you are watching these on YouTube, don't forget you got episode 63, 64, 65 over on our Patreon right now. ArticulateCoven.com/join. $2 or more a month. Get you access to everything we do early and ad-free. Thank you for watching these wherever you're watching them. And I'll be back soon with more episodes.